Have you ever just stopped and thought about all the things we can't see? I'm not just talking about what's around the corner, but the really deep, hidden realities that shape our entire world. Well, today we're going to dive into a single, profound verse that connects the biggest secrets of the universe to the almost unbelievable speed of a final, monumental event. Right here, this is our roadmap for today. The matter of the hour is not but as a blink of the eye or even nearer. I mean, just think about that claim for a second. The end of everything, the hour, is going to happen in an instant. But what's really fascinating is how it's connected to this even bigger idea, the vast, unseen knowledge that belongs to God and God alone. So, what exactly is this unseen? And how on earth can an event of that cosmic scale happen faster than we can even perceive it? These are the huge questions we're going to unpack piece by piece. Let's get into it. Okay, so to even begin to get our heads around the unseen, we've got to start with this foundational idea from the source material. Our entire existence is split into two completely distinct realms. This is really the first key to unlocking the whole puzzle. So on one hand, you've got the perceptible world, what's called Alam al-Mulk. This is everything you can touch, see, and measure, the physical universe, right? But then, on the other hand, there's the hidden world, Alam al-Malakut. And this is a whole other dimension of reality that's completely concealed from our five senses. Now, here's where this gets really personal. This idea of a huge, hidden world isn't just some far-off cosmic thing. It actually plays out in a really intimate way, right inside each and every one of us. You know, we usually think of secrets as a negative, don't we? We kind of wish we could know what other people are really thinking. But the source asks us to completely flip that idea on its head. What if our inability to see into each other's minds isn't a flaw at all? And this is just a fascinating twist. The source actually argues that our hidden thoughts, our private struggles, all the deeds nobody else knows about, this personal unseen, is a mercy. It's actually a form of perfection that's designed to help us all live together. And this is where it gets incredibly practical. I mean, just imagine for a second if you knew every single fault, every mistake of every person you met. Society would probably just collapse under all that judgment. This personal concealment, this little bit of unseen, lets us focus on the good in people. It helps us maintain harmony. Honestly, it's a feature, not a bug. So we have the unseen within us, right? But what about the secrets that are hidden in the very fabric of the universe itself? Well, this brings us to a whole different category of the unseen. You see, the source explains that not all of the unseen is permanently off limits. There's this whole category of hidden knowledge that God basically planted in creation, leaving clues for us to find eventually. I mean, think about gravity or electricity. They were once unseen, but the rules governing them were always there, just waiting for us to discover them. The source illustrates this with a brilliant analogy. It's like we're all solving a cosmic proof, like in geometry class. God provides the givens. That's the universe and its laws. He gives us the tools, our brains, our intellect. And over time, as we apply our tools to the givens, we start finding the solution. We uncover these incredible secrets. And get this, here's a really striking idea from the source. It argues that if you actually look back through history, something like 90% of major discoveries happened by coincidence, by chance, or even by mistake. The implication is incredible. It's that these secrets are unveiled at precisely the right moment, exactly when God wills them to become part of human knowledge. All right, so we've talked about the personal unseen, the one inside us, and the discoverable unseen, the one out there in the universe. But now we've arrived at the third and final category. And this one is fundamentally different from all the others. So let's just lay it all out, side by side. You've got the discoverable unseen, which, as we said, is accessible. We can get there through research, trial and error, even luck. But the absolute unseen? That's a whole different ballgame. It's knowledge reserved for God alone. You can't reach it with an experiment or a telescope. The only pathway is through divine revelation, and even then, only to specific messengers. And the ultimate example of this absolute unseen is the exact timing of the final hour. This quote is just so powerful. It shows that even the Prophet Muhammad, the final messenger, didn't have this information. It's a piece of knowledge that belongs to God and God alone, period. And that concept, the absolute unseen, brings us full circle, right back to the second half of that verse we started with. the claim that the hour will happen in a blink of an eye, or maybe even faster. So the original Arabic phrase is lamh basar. What's super interesting here is that the source explains this isn't about your eyelid closing. It's about the near-instant movement of your pupil as it shifts focus from one point to another. It's basically the fastest physical action our body can produce, and yet it still takes a measurable amount of time, however small. This all leads to a fundamental principle from the source material, and it's so important to get this. There is an inverse relationship between power and time. To put it simply, the more powerful the actor, the less time the action takes. Think about it like this, right? For a human to build, say, a skyscraper, it takes years, a huge amount of time for a massive action. But for an all-powerful actor, a being for whom literally nothing is difficult, the time needed to do anything, even something as immense as kicking off the hour, approaches zero. When power is absolute, time becomes irrelevant. And that's the whole point, you see. The verse isn't using a blink of an eye as some kind of literal stopwatch on God. No, it's using the fastest possible thing we can imagine to give our limited human minds a tiny glimpse of an action that happens instantaneously. It's about an event for which time as we know it just doesn't apply. It's a bridge to help us understand. So we're left with this incredible idea. The verse links the sheer vastness of hidden knowledge to the absolute immediacy of divine power. It really challenges how we see reality, asking us to think about a world where knowledge is absolute and action is instantaneous. It really makes you wonder, what does time even mean to a being for whom all things are possible? Not just in the blink of an eye, but in an instant that is, as the verse says, even nearer.